Back here live at the Waterfront Village with my friend, the zombie, Jonathan. You're looking good. Jonathan just got an awesome face paint job. What do you think?
I make turtles.
It's now time for Big D Energy with four-time Stanley Cup champ Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neil Rule. Live on the Woodward Sports Network, 99.1 and 93.5 The Roar, the Woodward Sports app, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Let's talk some sports. It's Big D Energy.
Hey, yo, everybody, back at it here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neil Rule. Of course, he is DMAC, Darren McCarty, four-time Stanley Cup champion. We got Sam Flannel here in the house. He's on brand and on budget. We got Sawyer in the production booth as well. Happy to have you all with us on another edition of Big D Energy. Tap into our YouTube chat thread. If you're watching on YouTube right now, jump into the comment section there. We read those in live time. Our social media handles on the screen as well. Send us a tweet, send us a text, send us a chat message, whatever you guys want to do to get involved. You're listening to the show. You're taking the time out of your day. The least I can do is take some time to read some of your comments out there as well. Happy to have you all with us in our YouTube chat thread. Detroit Dabber, the order's been restored in the world, DMAC. Detroit Dabber first in there with the What Up Dough. So what up, Dough, everybody? Happy to have you with us.
316 day, that's so apropos. Way to go,
Every day
Dabber.
it's some kind of day now.
Every day is a new day.
It is a new day.
It's a new day. Yes, it is. But
now, you were really casual with me about 45 seconds before we went on air with something that I think was pretty big. I think it was very big, and you were very casual. I don't know if you were trying to slip the change up by me there or what you were doing. But I'm not letting you off the hook.
Well, I don't think it was the announcement that Grindr's officially coming back with shows, and stay tuned in June and May. A couple festivals, I believe Marysville and Woodhaven, just a little bit out there. But in doing that, I had to make a commitment. I don't want to, Neil. I don't want to, but this is part of Embrace the Suck. So, the day after my 50th birthday, or that'll be a Sunday. So maybe the Monday, I'm going to make a commitment that I will be, because you know why? Your fitness is essential. I will be in Planet Fitness getting my, got to work on the cardio. Let's not be, let's not kid it. So I got some cardio to do, but I will be officially back in the gym by April 3rd, after my birthday. And P Fitness might be a morning tradition to you and I, but
morning sesh.
It's because I don't want to. I have to, and that's the difference.
Because your fitness is essential.
But it gets me where I want to go, and that's why I say sometimes you have to embrace the suck. Now, if anybody knows me, the difference between Chris Draper and Darren McCarty. Chris Draper gets sick if he doesn't work out. Darren McCarty gets sick if he does. But in saying that, the band and maybe a few wrestling things coming up too. So I am making that commitment. So mentally, if I put it out in the universe, I have to do it, be accountable, but I got 2 weeks to prepare. So I'm good.
There you have it. But we got a big-time show lined up for you guys here today. We'll ask you the question, what grade do you give the Lions as far as free agency has been concerned so far? Got a debate that I've been wanting to get to for a long time, and I think today's the day that we're going to get into it. Normally this would be more of a summer topic, but I feel very strongly about it. Who's the greatest of all time in the history of Detroit sports? No ties, no co-captains, none of that stuff. Here and today, who's the greatest athlete in the history of Detroit sports? And I got a feeling I may be alone on one here, even though I shouldn't be, and I'll lay out the case for it, and we'll see where it all goes. We have that as well. Mock drafts, Sawyer. They're starting to change their tune a little bit. I'm not saying it's going to happen, Sawyer. I'm not.
Just trying to get the people to come around to it.
Just prepare yourself mentally for what could happen. That I'm helping you. That's what I'm trying to do for you guys. I'm trying to help you.
Help you.
And speaking of helping you guys out there, you guys know about the bracket challenge at woodwardsports.com. $1,000 first prize for free. Just go to woodwardsports.com, register, fill out a bracket. Boom, you get a crack at $1,000. I'm going to give you the answers to the test. in about 55 minutes from now. I will give you the answers. Now, look, guys like DMAC, Adam Beydoun from The Morning Show, Braylon Edwards, Ryan Armani from The Bottom Line. Great guys, okay? They are. They're great guys. Relevant, they keep up with sports. They're watching college basketball and all that stuff. And that's cute. And that's great. And I love them for that. That's what makes them good people. But they don't live it. All right? I live it. I've been in these buildings. I'm an expert in this field.
You actually are.
I'm an expert in this field.
You should be, and if you're not, then is your day job incorrect then?
Then maybe that's the case, right? That's the case.
So you just put the spotlight on yourself, bro.
Hey, but I want the smoke, man. I do.
The smoke. That's the difference, Neil, and that's what Big D Energy is all about.
It's about the smoke, yeah. So I'm going to do it.
Bring me the smoke, and Neil will take the smoke from you.
I'll give you the answers, guys, okay? And about 54 minutes from now, I'm going to give you the answers with the help of Sawyer, and we'll run it through. And I'll let you guys know what's really going to happen in this March Madness bracket. And, all the guys here in the office, they're talking a lot of trash and stuff like that, but they don't live it. I do. So go to the source, and I'll help you guys all out there because I want everyone to prosper, everybody. So we will talk about all that. It's a big-time show. Tammy Chin. Good morning, everyone. Wow, where did the time go? Oh, it magically disappeared because for some reason they change the clocks all the time, Tammy.
Oh, which somebody listens to Big D Energy, and it looks like it's the United States Senate. Because did you see this, Neil?
Yes.
Not just like a day after you complaining about it.
I took it to the streets.
I mean, you took it to the streets, and it was unanimously voted. Did you see this? So daylight saving. Now, here's the thing. I'd like to spend a couple minutes on this. Did you have the post on that, Sawyer?
Video, yeah.
You have video?
Yeah.
Let's play it.
All right,
because I got questions.
President.
Senator from Rhode Island.
Just for anybody watching, in case it's not clear what happened, this just passed.
Oh, the Senate's in a quorum call.
This just passed.
The Senate is in a quorum call.
Let me ask unanimous consent that the Senate exit the quorum call.
Without objection.
And let me make it clear to anybody who is watching.
Senator from Rhode Island.
That they just saw this measure pass. We have just passed the bill to end the return from daylight savings time to make daylight savings time permanent.
And there it is, everybody. In a day and age where we are as divided as ever, look at that.
Now, I dig it, but it was brought to my attention by Alan Longstreet this morning, a friend over at Fox, co-worker of our boy Ryan Armani. You can catch here on The Bottom Line, 2 to 4, with Braylon Edwards and Maz. But he, in the wintertime, sun won't come up till 9 a.m. Do you find that being a problem?
No.
I do not either, because I am so more stoked for that extra hour or extra little bit of sunlight in the summertime on the golf course and stuff like this. It's just interesting that they kept it. They didn't go back to standard time. You know what I'm saying?
No, see, the thing for me is like we drive to work in the morning in the dark all winter long.
In the dark.
Then when we get home, we come home and it's dark outside.
Dark.
I just want some sunlight at some point when I'm not at work.
Sun. Give me some sun.
That's all I want.
So you're happy. Are you 100% happy right now?
I spearheaded this movement.
Like you were heard.
I feel like maybe I didn't get the credit I deserve. Like I didn't hear the senator from Rhode Island saying the Big D Energy bill. Well, they should have called it the Big D Energy bill. We should have got our flowers, DMAC. Okay. But wait, whatever. The result, it looks like it has been achieved. We'll see if this gets messed up too. I assume it probably will. I can officially say that
I watch C-SPAN. I've never seen that before, and I know why. I put on the rain and the thunderstorms at night. I think I could put on C-SPAN that might do that was just nobody excited.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't you give out a fist pump or something? Yeah, we passed it. Unanimous. Yes, son, driving home in the winter.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Adam loves Tebow. Still has to pass the House, and President has to sign it before it becomes a law, though. But at this point, though, I think with the movement that we've seen on social media, You going to be the one that steps in front of that train
and
over
it's
something
unanimous.
stupid like
Nobody's really like, you didn't even see one person.
and that's the thing, D-Mac. Are you going to be the one?
Nobody agrees in anything these days. There's always that one name.
Yeah.
One undecided. I can't decide. I don't care. I'm from Arizona, and it never changes.
Gromit 0237. It's not a law, though. Just don't change your clock. And it stops.
It's not a lot.
Well, everybody,
just don't change your clock. But when you're late for work and you get fired, take it up with.
So we'll do that on the poll.
That's funny.
Do you guys want to see this enacted? Yes or no? Do you want to keep? And you know what? I get confused and caught up in the terminology and all that stuff. Do you want to keep summertime? I think that's the best way to put it. Do you want to keep summertime as the time all year round? And I say yes. I do. I think we're to that point. I'm just happy that, we've been heard, and that's it. So, Keaton Rudiger says, I love this being the one thing that they can all agree upon. And that's it, is no one's going to get in the way of this, guys. Can you imagine if you're the politician, if you're the president, if you're somebody that gets in the way of this, the one thing that everybody agrees on.
The one thing.
One ever. First time ever. You're going to be the one to get in the way? No way. No one's doing that. No one.
I love it. I'm happy. Like I said, all the golfers should be happy.
Yeah, I would agree. Graham, I stopped changing my clock when I lived in Arizona years ago and just kept it that way ever since. So you've been an hour late to work for half the year then. Okay. That's cool. Yeah. And it is. It's universal.
One of the things is because why it was changed, back in the day, and whether they're talking about farming or the kids in the bus stop or whatever, and so much stuff's done online or differently than that. It's sort of, to me, it makes sense in 2022. It's just the fact that the most unbelievable thing is that this is the one thing in this world right now that we've all agreed on. We
it's
go
very
back
fitting.
to it. Hey, that'll be the next time. Yeah, but we can't get along. Remember that daylight savings time? Oh, yeah, man, high five. Oh, maybe that starts it. So we can agree on something. Yeah. We wouldn't be out here in the sunlight sipping sweet teas without it. I don't know.
No, I'm happy. I'm excited. And again, summertime is intact. I love that 9:40. I love the golden hour. So you strike me as a big golden hour guy.
I enjoy the sunset, yeah. It looks nice, especially out on the golf course. You're just waiting for it to go down, drinking a beer right on the tee box. It's a good time.
Adam Baydoun of the Morning Woodward show there, over your
He's
shoulder.
A big fan.
Oh, yeah, I saw him.
Got to keep him away, though.
Even Adam
Security.
agrees, I would think. Mm-hmm. Everybody agrees, dude. Everybody agrees with this one. This
Adam
was easy.
agrees, too? Oh, my gosh. That's how big this is.
Yep. Jared Howard, Neil, you were right. The Lions are fixing the books first, then go after the playmakers. I think Brad Holmes is watching DMAC's clock too.
Thank you.
Well, I don't want to take credit for that. DMAC doesn't want to take credit for that. We don't want to take credit for this bill passing unanimously. We don't want. All we care about, DMAC, is that it gets fixed.
That it gets done. And you know what? You bring it up if that's what you think, because I've had this up there, but. That's what I'm talking about. We're all getting on the same page, and to that point is you see something being built. I think everybody, no matter what, I see all the it proves we're going to take Hamilton. Oh, we're going to take you're big on the quarterback and this and that. It doesn't matter. There's a plan, right? It seems like there's a plan, and with the contract that DJ Chark got. Obviously, and bringing him in, we talked about it yesterday. That's huge too. So I like that. And if this clock has helped Brad Holmes by watching this clock and he watches the show, I will have this up here, sir, for another 17 games next season.
And here will be the next fight, by the way. Jerry Alexander, Neil. Now can we make Halloween the last Saturday of the month? Every year, last Saturday in October.
Oh my
yes,
God.
Thank you. That's our next. That's our next common sense resolution.
I got a feeling there'll be.
Hey,
like
Jerry, here's what we're gonna do.
days.
Jerry, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get that one. We're gonna get the Halloween on the last Saturday of October, and then I'm getting Super Bowl on a Saturday after that. I'm knocking them down one after the other, guys. I may run for office, D-Mac.
Oh, I
may run for office.
I'm there for you.
I'm for the people. I'm also for my bookie.
hype manager.
I'm also for mybookie.ag. March is here. The madness has begun. It's time for you to shoot your shot and score big on the nonstop action with MyBookie. Predict the winners in each round of the MyBookie bracket contest for an opportunity to win a Bitcoin. Markets up, Bitcoin's up. Let's go, everybody. There'll be NFTs up for grabs and over $100,000 more in cash prizes. Whether you're filling out multiple brackets, betting the national championship winner, or you're old school and you just want some player and game props. That's become old school, I think, within the past 4 months. MyBookie has you covered. Sign up today with MyBookie. Use a promo code Woodward. Make your first deposit, and you get a free bracket in the My Bracket contest. Selections for the bracket begin March 13th, so they're already underway. They close March 17th at noon, so get your deposit in now with the promo code Woodward. Secure that free entry. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Have a gambling problem, get your life in order. Call the Michigan Gambling Hotline, 1-800-270-7117.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Everybody, yeah, everybody, yeah. Take it up to the top, may the party never stop. Make it loud, make it real, let them know that we're here with everybody. Yeah, everybody, yeah.
No off season for us. We're talking sports. 365. Detroit Sports Network. Woodward Sports.
Off and running, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, live from the Planet Fitness Studios. Neal Rule, DMAC, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Sawyer as well. Happy to have you all with us. What day is it? Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Hump day on a Hump Day Wednesday. Happy you guys are with us. Our YouTube chat thread, Mr. Sammy G2. Wait, so daylight savings is permanent now? It's got to go to... I'm not big on the legal, which is why I won't win if I run for office. All I want is... stuff to get handled. I don't get caught up in the process. My understanding, so the president has to sign off on it. The Senate does too. Is that what it is?
I thought the Senate voted.
The Senate voted it in.
I
don't know. All I know is
a Canadian, bro. This doesn't work very well.
The Americans got to go to the Canadian.
More American history and rules and regulations than I do Canadian.
Ryan says, you get Super Bowl on a Saturday, you'll have my vote forever. That seems to be getting a lot of run. Dom Rivera, Neal for office, Super Bowl Saturday.
It's all about what package you present.
Yep.
Right? So, imagine Halloween. Halloween on a Saturday. Super Bowl on a Saturday. How can you lose?
There'd be a million
the guy
people
that brought you daylight savings time to an end.
Yeah.
Right?
Now
I can hear the block one. The guy who brought daylight savings to an end.
Single-handedly.
Now wants to bring Halloween to a Saturday and not stop there. Look out, folks. Imagine having a hangover from Super Bowl Saturday on a Sunday. Yeah. You don't have to go to work. Vote for my guy, Neal.
Gromit, make snobbery great again. Vote Neal. So there you have that, too. Robert Colosia, these are great ideas. If you put a four-way stop sign at the end of my street, you'll have my vote also. Hey guys, I'm not baking in a whole bunch of fat in my bills. Okay, I'm knocking them down one at a time. I'm not for sale. Okay, I'm not for sale.
Hey, Rake's the best. Where does candy corn on your agenda?
That'll be another bill that I introduce at the next election. I can't use them all up. I got to keep the momentum going.
You can't get Halloween to a Saturday and ban candy corn at the same time and just sort of take it into the world of Neal.
Maybe
okay,
I would.
Maybe, Rake.
That might be a little radical for some though.
Okay, too big of an agenda.
Yeah, I'll have to warm people up to that one. So yeah, get on my back, everybody. We're going to it. We're okay. The Senate has adopted it. The House needs to approve it. Then it goes to the president to finalize, courtesy of Cobzilla, our political insider here. So there you have it. That's going to happen. No one's getting in the way of that. So there it is, guys. We got it done. We see the change. We be the change here on Big D Energy. A lot of discussion about Myles Garrett here in our YouTube chat thread. And is he a fit for the Lions? Is he a fit for the Lions defense? And I'm curious to get your guys' grades for what the Lions have done so far. Mr. Smith, I'm not for sale. And speaking of money, my bookie. I'll fit right into the political spectrum, my friend. Yeah, I'll fit right in. Jenna Newman's is for an official candy corn burning day. Well, yeah, wing snob too.
Drinking your gypsy vodka.
So what's the grade, everybody, on what the Lions have done? Free agency is off and running. They've re-signed a lot of guys, a lot of the same guys from the 3-13-1 team. But as somebody said yesterday, who they believe to be some of the good guys from the 3-13-1 team. Khalif Raymond coming back. I believe that was a 2-year deal. Tracy Walker, a 3-year extension. DJ Chark, the 1-year, $10 million deal that could be $12 million
and 6
with
of
incentives.
It against the cap next year, right? Where he gets money this year, but the way that it's broken down. And when you see all these contracts, we talked about it yesterday with trade, like the money that these guys are getting, Charles Harris, stuff like this, 7 per for 2 years. All this falls in, to being accountable, to building something. And I said it yesterday, and I still believe this, that they're bringing these guys back, even though they were part of that team, which also they were part of the team that we know, if you eyeball test them, wasn't the same team at the start of the year as it was the last 5, 6, 7 games, right? Then if you look at that moving forward, everybody they've re-signed has a role with this team, whether you like it or not, to what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell expect. So, there's different guys that we've signed, but I think they've been very smart with their money, and my grade on this so far is a B+.
And that's about where I am too, in that A to B range, however you want, A-, B+.
But think about it. When have we been here before? Lately?
Never. And that's why. That's why I'm a fan of it. People are saying, did I say Myles Garrett? Miles Jack.
Miles Jack.
Oh, I did say Myles Garrett.
You did say Myles Garrett.
Hey, Sam Flannel, jump in, dude. When I misspeak like that, jump in.
Hey, I mean, the chat did it for me, so I didn't have to. But I
Miles,
think,
and Myles Jack, absolutely talented. The thing is his bad knee, right? The thing is that if he's durable and stuff like that, that's a guy who. And these are guys where you trust the due diligence of your general manager and his guys to know if that's a guy that can help out or not. I mean, it's a cool name, but there's baggage that goes with it.
Yeah, and that's where Sexy Chicken 808 Neal for president. Now, we'll start with Macomb County, and then we'll work our way up. We'll work our way up from there. But no, for me, it's along that exact same line of thinking in that A to B range, because as I said, and I forget which one of our YouTube chat threads said it, they had to get the books right too, and that's the victory to me, is that I saw them value draft capital. I saw them either able to convince Lion ownership or telling Lions ownership, however they did it, saying, look, Matt Stafford's the only chip we have to move right now that can help us speed up this process and speed up this timeline. So it was important to them. Draft capital was important. Fiscal responsibility is important too. And guys, I think I've been mislabeled through all this, where they say Neal just doesn't want to spend any money on anybody, which is not true. I talked yesterday about the Marcus Williams thing and all that kind of stuff. I talked about it. I think that you have to atone for the sins of the people before you. And that's what they have to do right now.
I think my question to you, Neal, as the draft capital guy who pays attention to the salary cap and stuff like that, in the NFL, where we know it can be a quick turnover, right? And we always use that analogy as the quick turnover on the field, right? Use the example of the Cincinnati Bengals. But what the Detroit Lions have done is slowly coming into my mind, and I wondered if people see it the same way, is the invisible stuff that we never see or understand as fans, the books, right? We don't see. But it seems like the Lions have gotten the books straight earlier than they've gotten the team straight, which is what you need. Isn't it correct? Like,
right.
So the fact that if the guys they put in, this is all the one process, because it's sort of like, to me, it's when you pull out your wireless headphones, right? And they're all tangled up. That's where
That's
they
the
were.
first
and you
step in the process.
Untangle them, and sometimes it takes a little longer, but wow, you could see the end of it where you got 2 little loops left and then you got it undone. We're getting closer to this, and I think maybe the talent on the field, not yet, because they're not ready to make that step, even though this draft is huge for them, is the fact that they got the books right, or they're getting the books right, or closer to right, to be able to make the decisions moving ahead that most teams, good teams, do because they have the draft capital. I look at the Chargers now, right? With the quarterback and stuff like that. So I think you bring up a great point, is that underneath the surface that us as fans don't really understand is getting the salary cap and the books right. Because whether it's clean as this white piece of paper here, some organizations, or it's rumpled like this, you have no idea. I have no idea, right? So that's the things you're fighting against. We see it play out in the wash, with different teams and different sports, but I think at this, so kudos to the Lions organization, because they're doing what they need to do.
Lance is gone. Our YouTube chat thread says Miles Jack would be nice if he can stay healthy and be a reasonably cheap deal. Those things I think are mutually exclusive when you're where the Lions organization is. And like we can be bullish. Like we can say, hey, I would not only would I buy stock in Brad Holmes and the Lions, I would buy options. I'd buy some call options too. I'd double down on it and get in there. We can think that way. But the way that they're viewed is the way that they're viewed right now. You don't get Miles Jack cheaply, especially here. And I'm not interested in that. We're not at that point yet, guys. And by the time we are to that point, Miles Jack's going to be 30 with decrepit knees, already trending towards decrepit knees. You know what I'm saying? It's where, and he had a 4-year, $57 million contract before. So what do you think he's going to,
Well,
he's not coming for cheap,
unless, right, he's at a point coming out of Jacksonville on the same lines as what DJ Chark was. We're on a 1-year prove it, right? Sort of Charles Harris, but it's going to be more than that $5 million. If it fits in, maybe that conversation is happening. The one thing is Neil, do you think that there is a conversation being had, though, by the Lions and Miles Jack, at least a kick in the tires?
Yeah,
I do. I think that the option is out there. I don't believe it's going to happen, because I believe that he's going to want more money and go to a place that's ready to win. But
he's going to value term. He's going to value term. Especially him. He's going to value term over money
and get upfront guarantee, because being susceptible to injury. So.
Edify Voyage, Miles Jack is a baller, period. I don't dispute that. Very good player. Just doesn't fit where, guys, we're 17 or 34 in. We're not there
Jack
yet.
In 2 years, probably.
Yeah.
Right? Because can we get 1 year, 2 years out of him at the high end? It's a different conversation.
Sexy Chicken 808. This has got to be one of the most crucial Lions draft in recent years. And they all are going forward, because not only do you have to get the books right, how do you keep your books right? Draft rookie contracts. And if you want to keep rookie contracts, that means the guy's got to be good. And if they're good, that means they're playing. It's all part of this, guys. That's where it is, and that's why it's different to me. That's why a couple weeks ago I said Brad Holmes is going to win a playoff game, at least a playoff game, during his tenure here. And I don't have a specific example to give you to point to or anything like that, other than the philosophy. The philosophy is proven to work in the National Football League right now, because it's the only way forward. You think it's going to work for Jacksonville? What they did? Giving Christian Kirk $80 million, you think that's going to work?
Right, which probably doesn't make to the end of the contract, but being front-loaded. But you know what, Neil? I'd like to have the opportunity to spend money like Jacksonville.
And there is the rub, everybody. You know what else you have the opportunity to do? work out in a judgment-free zone where you can also work out in a non-intimidating atmosphere, and that is Planet Fitness, everybody. Membership starts at just $10 a month for access to your home club. They have a black card option as well, $22.99 per month. It's less than $1 a day, guys. You spend more than that on coffee in a week, I promise you that. Black card members enjoy the usage of unlimited tanning, the hydro massage, the massage chairs, total body enhancement, and access to over 2,000 Planet Fitnesses worldwide with unlimited guest privileges. Join today in club or online at planetfitness.com. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There's one now open in Midtown Detroit at the Detroit Pistons Performance Center. Right now, $0 down, $10 a month. You're going to pass one on the way home. You're going to pass two of them on the way home. Pull into the parking lot. Sign yourself up. Get things rolling, everybody. Planet Fitness, home of the judgment-free zone. Planet Fitness, because your fitness,
it's essential.
What do you get when you mix fresh, juicy, hormone-free chicken with our savory signature sauces? The best damn wings you've ever had. Wing Snob Traditional Wings. Try our Jamaican jerk or lemon pepper. And we toss them to perfection. When your wings are this good, it's easy to be a snob. Order online at wingsnob.com today. Wing Snob. We just have better wings.
Woodward Sports is here to change the game. On March 21st at 9 a.m., we have a big announcement. The Morning Woodward Show will never be the same.
fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Your Detroit alternative to the normal sports blah, blah, blah. It's Woodward Sports.
Neal Rule here for Chili Peppers Tanning, where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D with spotless sanitized rooms. Trained and certified tanning professionals. You can join the Pepper Club for unlimited tanning. Get all the best deals. They have all the top-of-the-line lotions as well. Australian Gold, Designer Skin, Caltan, Swedish Beauty lotions as well. Go to ChiliPeppersTanning.com. Chili Peppers Tanning, the hottest bulbs, the darkest tans, the hottest deals. They are your vitamin D headquarters. 26 locations and more on the way. It's Chili Peppers Tanning. Neal Rule, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Sawyer Benj here on Big D Energy, the Woodward Sports Network. And we're talking Detroit Lions, the grade. We have it on our YouTube poll right now. How would you grade the Lions free agency so far? 54% of you say a B. 55% of you say a B. 29% of you say a A. 11% C. And 5% with a D. I'm curious. Anybody in our YouTube chat thread which obviously you are if you're voting on it. Anybody who gave a D, explain why. You know, I'm not looking to mock or anything. I'm just curious to hear the rationale. I'm always looking. I can be. Information changes. To quote Sam Flannel, I reserve the right to change my opinion if the information gathered merits that change. And anybody who voted a D, I would like to see that. So, that's where it is. I think it's going pretty well. They want the flannel. They want to see the flannel. There he is. Okay. He's on brand, guys.
Subtle. Sort of like the day outside.
Subtle flex.
So
we're Wednesday. We're day 18. Of 365 consecutive days of flannel, by the way. We need a clock for that. We got a lot of clocks on this show. We need day 18 of 365 of flannel. Remember, every Friday is a Blue Debo Flannel Friday for Sam Flannel. But yeah, guys, I want to know why anybody that voted it a D, I'm curious as to know
I
why.
think that the biggest consensus is because when you bring up the same players they re-sign off of a 3-13 team, right? Where it's like you're
which I get. I said
that. And yeah, that's the truth. Except the why behind it is, I think that we can all agree that some of these guys that were re-signing, we all saw something that they did to sort of deserve it, deserve this contract or moving on a 3-13 team. and what's out there. There's obviously not things that are comparables, and you have to pay more to bring somebody else in. So I think that Holmes and Campbell evaluated the roster and said, well, we can do this. Now, I look at some of the guys like Anzalone, more of a specific role in the locker room, but all these guys that re-signed, there's a purpose in building that culture, and last year had something to do with it in the end of the year.
Right.
So that's the why, but you're right. I mean, we're talking facts. Facts is you sign a lot of the same people that were here last year. So hopefully there's improvement. But a lot of times you look at in other sports, the same team comes back, right? Same team comes back, another kick at the cat.
Dom Rivera says all those people would have signed Frank Clark, Von Miller, and traded for Russell Wilson and. Well, and that's the fantasy footballization of things that I believe kind of takes hold with people. Like they equate that as the same.
Everybody's a GM now, right? Everybody can GM their own fantasy football roster, so that puts you into, like, you think sometimes you know better than what's going on, except you don't have all the information.
Yeah. So, I'm just curious about it. Michael Evans said the Miles Jack thing's understandable, but what about kicking the tires on someone like Zadarius Smith? Again,
Too much money.
How much money? And you're at a point now where the Lions, there's what, 13-ish million left on the cap, 14-ish million. You still got to sign your draft picks, by the way.
Right. Wouldn't you rather find the Amon-Ra St. Brown or the Jerry Jeudy or the Charles Harris right now? You're going to always, you're not in a position to get to sign unless it's the right money or they want to be here, and there's always, certain circumstances. But these guys we're talking about are guys that have paid big money, that have signed big contracts. You don't sort of revert back down from that unless you're coming off a catastrophic injury or somebody else doesn't want you. These are guys that'll fit somewhere else and teams that are ready to win. We're not ready to win.
Yeah, and so LL Cool, Dre 3-3, Lions always go into free agency cheap and they're always losing. See, I would contend it's been the opposite of that. Look at the Trey Flowers deal. That's kind of the linchpin from where I'm. Look at the Vitae deal, and look, you can say the Vitae played pretty well last season. Sure, he did.
Those are when you talk about getting guys or stuff like this of cleaning up messes that were done before you, or you've inherited messes or stuff like this. These are some of the things that, and you've made decisions. You mentioned it with the golf contract, but you understand the why. They had to do it somewhere, right? And this was their guy. They'd spend the most time with him. And true, let's not get it twisted. Brad Holmes was an integral part in drafting him first overall to the Rams. So there's something there, right? And you can't neglect that. So yeah. But it's also too, Neil, what are they doing? They're doing the responsible thing, right? By eating the money they have to eat off the books or on the cap, right? You're the salary cap guy. The Trey Flowers thing has had to be done. It's unfortunate, but you know what? That's the one thing is that this regime sort of takes the chances, does their little thing, and if it doesn't work, they get out before everybody else in the past used to just hang on and then implode.
Joe Metzger says Kyle Hamilton at 2 is now locked. I would disagree with that because there seems to be a pretty sound financial philosophy.
I'll bet. I don't think. I'll bet. You take Hamilton, I'll take the field.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. I don't think that's going to go down that way because we just saw the best safety.
Can't say lock.
We just saw the best safety, or arguably, we saw arguably the best safety in the NFL just get signed to a $15 million a year deal, right? $15 million. So you're going to pay Kyle Hamilton, an unknown. You're going to pay him $9.5 to $10. I'm not.
No.
I'm not doing it, guys. I'm going for more certainty. I'm not even say certainty. Certainty's a bad word. And I don't want to say value either because that makes it sound like you're being cheap.
My question to you here. So answer this question. If hypothetically the Lions back in 2014 when they took Ebron were a Kyle Hamilton away and they had the number 2 pick and that was the guy to pay $9 million, that's different, right? Then if that's where you think that's sort of your guy, then you're not worried about the $9 million, right? You're taking him, putting him in. Different position. Almost finished off team. So it's not the fact that you don't value him, but the fact is you don't value him there for where this team is now.
Yep. Michael Evans, if you're taking Hamilton at 2, he better be the second coming of Sean Taylor, which is a lot like, if you were going to take, say, a cornerback, I don't know, like number 3. If you were going to take a cornerback at 3, then he better be, Deion Sanders got taken at 7 or whatever it was. He better be the next coming of Deion Sanders. I would never do that. I would never sit here and say, hey, let's take this number 3 overall pick on a cornerback. Let's do that and see how it works out, because obviously we're one cornerback away from playoff greatness. I can't recommend that in good faith. And I don't know any general manager in the National Football League that would do something like that, because it's a dollars and cents league. It's a value league. And I think value is a bad term, but I guess that's, through lack of a better term, it is value driven. There's no way anybody would take a cornerback with the 3rd overall pick. Never. That will never happen in the NFL.
Now, there's a great question AC asks, is how much does the safety position influence the game these days, right? Would you say more, or like with the rule changes and stuff like this?
Yeah, well, let's break this down, DMAC. Let's look at the NFL right now. Passing league. I think that's very fair to say. Passing league. First and foremost.
Protect your quarter.
What do you have to have to win?
Guy can protect and guy can get after.
Yep. What do you have to have to win? Quarterback. You got to have a quarterback. Right. Got to. It's the reason they're making $50 million a year now. Got to. So if you have a quarterback, that means you have to be able to pass the football. The running game's not as important as it used to be. Now, conversely, defensively, if you're trying to stop the pass, what's the best way to stop the pass?
Guy on his butt.
Sack the quarterback. Not even, and you don't even have to sack the quarterback. Make him do things him do things he doesn't want to do. Make him roll out. Make him throw on the run. Don't just let him set up shop and throw the ball.
And so in that aspect, you got to protect him.
And because of that, and because they're $50 million a year, offensively, what's your second biggest investment? Protecting your first biggest investment.
And we saw that this year in the Super Bowl. You look at the end where Cincinnati had their quarterback, had the receiver, but didn't have their protection. And it comes down to the last play of the game, right? Last play of the game where the receiver's open, but the quarterback doesn't have the time. In that aspect, it's a 3-person game.
Simple,
it's almost like Tecmo Bowl. It's almost like back to Tecmo Bowl, where where the priority of importance is.
Yeah, and that's where it is. And you can have spin-offs of that, and our guy Robert says you need linebackers that can cover. That's versatile linebackers. You want to lean towards guys that can cover, but you can be able to stop the run to some degree, I guess. That's the order of operations as far as this is concerned. And how else? When you talk about the order of operations, when you look at the order of compensation, what do you see? Quarterback makes 50.
Left tackle.
The left tackle's making 18.
And the defensive end.
And the defensive end's making 18. It's not a
Follow
complicated.
Follow the money, guys.
It's math.
Follow the money.
It's math even I can understand.
Wow.
It really is. And that's the way it works. Where's safety in that? You didn't hear me mention a safety.
No. And then there's sort of like the caveats, and obviously so that pretty much explain to where the priorities are. Then you go and you look at your team. And then you go back, and I always do the comparable to who won the Super Bowl. What did they have? Who was in their positions and stuff like that. So, goes to the value to your position that you can't pay that guy that much.
Right.
When you're not ready to win, when he's not your final piece.
One Funky's Lions fan, as safeties are so useless, why haven't teams just gotten rid of them and added 2 edge guys, being that's the only position that seems to matter on defense? Come on, guy. I feel like I'm talking to my son here with that one, because that's something that they're not useless. You need them at some point, which is why Williams just got $15 million a year, but he's the best in the game at it. See, that's different. It is. That's different.
Look at teams who have a better safety than they do a pass rush.
Yeah, and report back.
How does that work out?
And report back to me. Sawyer, report back to me after you go to the mystery beer vending machine.
Oh, I'll report back to you with a nice beer that I didn't even have to think about getting, because just throw $2 in there, you get a mystery beer right out. Super simple. You're right on your way, right back to Foaling. I mean, you guys got to try it out. They have over 100 beers at the Foaling warehouse. So, I mean, if you're about that and you can handle that much pressure, that much decision making, and that much time you have at the bar, I mean, go for it. I've had to take it on a couple times. I mean, you can do it, but the mystery beer machine is definitely the way to go. I mean, you just throw $2 in, just $1, $2, and it gives you a random beer out.
Bobby Wagner.
It's so nice. I mean, I love the mystery beer machine, and like so many lanes there at the Foaling Warehouse. You can just show up, play no problem. You know, you can show up, pay $10, play from open to close, throw your arm out, throw till you need Tommy John, or if you have a big group, you can take advantage of the private lane reservation for around $120 for up to 10 people for 2 hours. So that just takes away all the stress, all the worry, especially if you're going on a weekend. It's so crowded there. So the private lane reservation really just helps you out. You show up, give them your name, then boom, you're on your way, you're foaling, you're having a good time. And I mean, everybody gets hungry, right? You're usually thinking, oh, I'm going to have to pay for some overpriced bar food. Well, not at the Foaling Warehouse. You can actually bring your own food in, Uber Eats it, have a pizza delivered, whatever you're feeling, whatever gets you going. They'll let you do it at the Foaling Warehouse, which is so nice, so convenient, and saves you a little bit of money and lets you have a couple more mystery beer machines as long as you're being responsible. So if that's on something like you guys want to do, go to thefoalingwarehouse.com. I'll say it one more time for you. It's thefoalingwarehouse.com, or just show up in person right in Hamtramck. This is Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network. Be right back.
Think you're a big shot?
Oh, excuse me, it goes down!
Think you can make the big shot?
Washington fires and hits!
Woodward Sports wants to send you to the finals for college basketball April 2nd through the 4th in New Orleans. That's right, you and a friend in the Big Easy. We'll take care of the airfare, hotel, and tickets to see the finals for college basketball. Listen Monday through Friday to the Morning Woodward Show. Big D Energy. And the bottom line for your chance to qualify. If you can make the big shot, you and a friend are getting out of the cold and to New Orleans.
Got it!
Keep listening and watching for your next chance to win. Powered by Planet Fitness, Syntron, and the Sports Marketing Agency.
And it's over! Anything can happen in March!
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Comerica Park, sunshine, the crack of the bat. More sunshine, warmth. We're almost there, Detroit. Summer 2022 will be the summer of Woodward Sports. We just gotta make it through this damn cold first.
Back out of here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Rule, DMAC, Darren McCarty. We got Sawyer Benj here. Also, Sam Flannel, Don Burr on our YouTube chat thread. Kayvon Thibodeau stuck on himself, talks too much for me, Clowney 2.0, etc. And someone was asking about, is this Thibodeau criticism, is it being manufactured right now? And I don't know the answer. I wasn't in the room. So, it's one of those things where you always hear a certain set of things, and then magically things always seem to play out differently on draft day. So, with all that being said, mock draft season is hot and heavy. And you know me, DMAC. You know where I've been. I've been trying to prepare the people for something that I think could be a great shock to their system. And I just want everybody in the back of their mind to have it back there that it could happen. And I'm not saying it will happen, but it's more possible, I think, than people are giving it credit for. And Sawyer came across this one, DMAC, and I'm curious to get your thoughts. Mock draft season is out in full effect. That's what we've been talking about. One of the mock drafts, Complex Sports' latest mock draft, has the Lions taking Malik Willis at number 2. And it's one of those things, DMAC. Just hear me out. Hear me out.
I'm listening.
Through all the numbers that we've given, and we just spent 20 minutes talking about it, the value of the position. It's possible, guys. I'm not calling it. I'm not calling for it necessarily. But the Lions are going to take a quarterback with one of these 3 picks, guys. They are. Don't be surprised.
See, here's the thing, right? It goes down to the conversation yesterday, which you sort of turned me around to it, that it could be a possibility. And percentage-wise, give me a percentage of possibility. what, 33%?
33.
That's
yeah,
where I got it
33
at right
to
now
50.
because, again, I've said it all along. This draft is the fork in the road. Which way are you going to go? Are you going to go the Rams way or Cincinnati way? Well, now it's elaborated because, as Sam Flannel has said, we have more information. Look at what the Jacksonville Jaguars have done in this free agency period and the San Diego Chargers with the moves that they've made. Why have they been able to do that? Follow the breadcrumbs, and it goes back because they have quarterbacks on rookie deals, which means this is bigger than if he is a talented. The most important thing is if it is Malik Willis, and that's who they like the most, right? I would want them to take him at 2 because of this if they think he's their guy. The thing I'm worried about, and you know what, Neil, you tell me as far as draft capital guy, but what if, they don't get Willis and it drops down and they take, a third guy, but they do take a quarterback that could be hit or miss. How far does that put a organization back in choosing a quarterback at 32 or 34, right? And he doesn't pan out, as opposed to taking a guy at 2 that does. We know what happens if he doesn't. It's just another Lions draft pick up high, right? It doesn't matter the position. But I'm saying that what's the downfall, right? Because we agree, if they're going to get Willis, they got to get him at 2. They're not going to get him at 32. Can we agree on that?
Or 7 or 8,
right.
yeah. But that's,
right.
just keeping everything at face value.
You can't let him fall to you.
Right.
What I'm saying is there's going to be a quarterback there, I believe, that would fall to you at 32 or 34. But if you're just taking them because of your capital game and it's 50-50, you know what I'm saying? That's when I think they pass on them, pass on the quarterback because they're not ready yet. They're not a year from now or 2 years from now if they think that next year or whatever could get it. But the case that you've proven is that if Malik Willis is their guy, don't be shocked if they go get him at 2. That's the
thank you.
That's the apparentness of, not that it's gonna happen, but if it does happen, because why? Because then the dominoes fall into place that you're now Jacksonville and you're now San Diego in the free agent market and everything else, and you're sort of doing it through the draft. And you can acquire guys, right? So you're going to build it and then do it that way. It's sort of the long-term Rams way. It's a short-term Cincinnati way. The long-term Rams way is get your quarterback, but you have your draft. You mentioned it yesterday. All their draft guys that are in place. So, again, just more layers.
Yeah.
Layers.
And for the quarterback at 32 crowd, you got to remember, they're not. I think that we can make this assumption about this regime for the Lions. They're not going to take one just to take one. And I'm not saying you take one just to take one. Even being the draft capital, salary cap, money guy, need a quarterback on a rookie deal. I'm not saying you take one just to take one. I'm saying you take yours, the guy that you like, the guy that you worked with at the Senior Bowl, the guy that you had in your suite in Indianapolis, that you loved the interview, the guy that you worked out, the guy that you went to his pro day and said, this is the guy, this is the guy.
And if he's not there, then some other team at 32 or 34 the guy that might be there, the quarterback, they might want him, so you have options. Right? That's the one thing. And again, it goes back to, do you trust the guy in charge? I like what people are saying. If the Lions like Willis at 2, they will not be afraid to go get him. That's the whole thing. There's no fear in this regime. No. They have a game plan. They're proving that as they're putting it all together. Whether we like it, whether we agree with it, whether we give them A's, B's, C's, or D's, they know what they're doing. And that's the one thing that I like the most out of it. Right?
Right.
Because I approve.
I'm just trying to get everybody warmed up to the fact that this is a possibility. What do you got, Sam Flannel?
I mean, I would be a lot more upset with them if they took one at 32 or 34, because like you said earlier, Neil, if you're going to get a quarterback, you want one that you love. And if they love Malik Willis,
if you love a Sam, how, you know what I'm saying? Like if they fell in love with like a guy that they have circled, then I'm cool with that. I am.
If the Lions,
I trust the evaluator. If the
Lions
that's my point.
Feel about a quarterback like the Chargers did for Justin Herbert, because that was, everybody was up in the air with him, or the Bills did in Josh Allen, then you want him to take him no matter what anybody says. Right. Because we don't know, because they know.
And these were this, everyone out there that's just like, no quarterback, there's not one worth taking. Those are the same people that said that, why would you take Justin Herbert? He was awful at Oregon. And I'll put my hand in the air. You guys know me. I'm accountable. I'll be honest with you guys. I've never told you guys a lie here. I was one of those guys that said, this was me literally at the draft watching the draft last year. I'm sitting around with the guys and we're watching. I'm like, every time I watch Justin Herbert play, he sucked. And all the because it was a big game, i.e. will be a big game. I wasn't watching, Oregon v. Arizona State at 3:30 on a Saturday. I wasn't doing that.
You don't treat it like the Mountain West.
No, I don't lock in like the 11 p.m. Mountain West kick. If it's UNLV at San Diego State, I'm locked in for that one. But with that being said, every time I watched Herbert play in a big game, he wasn't any good. And I said, I couldn't see it. I couldn't see what the other people were seeing, but I wasn't at the workouts. I wasn't in the room. I wasn't around the facilities and all that kind of stuff. But I can put my hand in the air and say I was 1,000,000% wrong about Herbert.
Question now: does the re-signing of Tim Boyle throw any wrench into the fact of quarterback?
No, it's a 1 year.
Okay, because they get the guy they want.
Because if you're investing a first round, I'm not even saying number 2. If you're investing a first round pick or a second round pick, then you'll invest a roster spot in him being on the roster. That doesn't change anything at all to me. Now again, I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's not like signing Chase Daniels the day before the draft.
It's not like signing Chase Daniels ever. Come on, man.
But quick question.
Come on, they gave that man they gave him like $3 million too.
Quick question: Baker Mayfield. Do you think he's out of Cleveland, and where do you think he ends up?
Who knows? Because Baker Mayfield, and look, I'm not a Baker Mayfield hater.
Neither am I.
I'm not a hater of him at all.
I
don't think he's elite.
There's something I think he's got. I think that's in the right spot. Like, where I think he'd work?
Denver?
Well, I didn't think of that. New England?
Like
in the system. You know
Sure.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, like in a ready-made place. I don't know. Baker Mayfield's weird because he seems to be in his feelings all the time, and he talked about Duke Johnson's trade request from Cleveland. Said you're either on the train or you're not, and he had that whole statement that he put out yesterday where he put his middle name in the signature and all that kind of stuff, and talked about his time in Cleveland's been life-changing, and thanks for embracing my family and all that kind of stuff. To me, it seems like he might be one of those guys that you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube with. And look, you strike me somebody as DMAC where in your height with the Red Wings, if the Red Wings would have saw somebody be available that could have better fulfilled your role, I don't think you would have sat there and put out a statement and put your middle name in the signature of the statement. You would accept what happens and you would go move on and you would continue your career.
Right.
Because that's the business you're in.
Right.
There will come a day here at Woodward Sports when either I go somewhere else or management comes to me and says, you know what, this ain't it anymore.
Right.
That's how it's going to end someday.
Well, here's the one thing. What do I always say? Self-awareness. So
Bingo.
Here's the whole thing: is that if Baker looks in the mirror and this is who he truly is, and his self-awareness, then God bless him. The thing with me is if somebody else come to take my job, it's like what did because it's like what's my role in it? So I've sort of allowed this to happen.
I allowed myself to be replaceable.
Right.
That's
See,
the driver.
I compete with myself on everything, so it's how much I care about anything.
Right.
So for me, if I'm being replaced or whatever, it's because I've moved on, and I look back at, and I know salary cap being bought out and stuff like that after the lockout. Financially, it was the right decision to make. I mean, if you don't, you're dumb. But I made it easy. Right, I made it a lot easier because my focus was elsewhere.
Mark says Willis at number 2 is totally possible. There's a big possibility of them taking Willis at 2. Doughboy Steve says wasting a number 2 overall pick on he might be good someday. Well, Steve, they're not in that camp. If they're taking him, there is no he might be good someday. They're convinced that he will be good.
And the fact is that the caveat is the rookie contract. So what it enables you to do with the rest of the roster.
Yep. All right, guys, when we come back, I'm going to give you the answers to the quiz. That's right. I will fill out my bracket here with you guys at woodwardsports.com. I'll let you in behind the curtain. Everybody here's competing for second. I'll let them know that. Let me tell you about the sports marketing agency. SMA has been leveraging pro athletes and other notables for a decade against the issues around mental health and substance abuse disorder. With the help of NFL alumni, Sean Jordan has been able to save lives and take a stand against these issues. Check out Woodward Sports for the podcast from the SMA entitled This is the F Word. It's a series on fentanyl. If you're struggling with substance abuse or mental health, they are here to help. Go to thesportsma.com. This is important. Go to thesportsma.com. And you can find out more about the sports marketing agency and their crusade. And make sure you check out Sean Jordan's podcast, This is the F Word, a series on fentanyl.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Rule, DMAC, Darren McCarty here in the house. Sam Flannel and Sawyer also. I told you guys I was going to help you out, and because that's the kind of guy I am, everybody. I'm going to give you my expertise here. You go to woodwardsports.com for the best bracket challenge. It's tournament time. We're going to put $1,000 in your hand. Woodward Sports Papa Romanos wants to see who can put the best bracket out in Detroit. It's a Woodward Sports bracket challenge. Grand prize is $1,000. Second place, a pair of Yeezys. Third place, a pizza party from our friends at Papa Romanos. Just go to Woodward Sports. I have it open right here in front of me, and fill out your bracket today. Keep track all tournament long. See if you have the best bracket in Detroit, and this is all powered by Papa Romano's Pizza. So here's the deal, guys. I have my bracket out right here, DMAC. I'm going to take you up to the Final Four. I'm not giving you all the answers because I want to win $1,000 too. I mean, I guess it's not really fair that you be in the professional
Well, it wasn't
here.
fair when you were hired in to the Woodward Sports Network. I mean, it automatically put everybody to going for second place.
There you go. So Sawyer will pull up some brackets here on the screen. And, we'll go through it. Where do you want to go? You tell me where you want to go first, Sawyer. What corner?
You want to head out west?
Let's do it. Let's go out west.
Alrighty.
All right. Round of 64. Gonzaga versus Georgia State. Obviously, you're going Gonzaga there. Boise State and Memphis. And for me, I know this Memphis team is really hot, but I'm a Mountain West slappy, and plus Gonzaga will beat both of them, so I'm taking the Mountain West team. UConn and New Mexico State. New Mexico State will hang with them, I think, but in the end, UConn will have too many athletes. I'll go UConn. We're going very chalky so far. I'm a big believer in Arkansas. I'm going to pencil Arkansas in over Vermont. Although I did call a Vermont game this year. Oakland beat Vermont down in South Florida in the tournament all the way back in November. That was a lifetime ago. Alabama over the Rutgers Notre Dame play-in winner. I'm huge SEC this year. Texas Tech, Montana State. Texas Tech will win that one. Michigan State, Davidson. Here's the deal. Davidson can score a lot. Michigan State's very athletic. And let me tell you guys something. Mid-majors, that athleticism isn't something that they're used to dealing with. Trust me on this one, guys. I think Michigan State, those shots for Davidson that they make at a very high clip don't get contested the way they're going to get contested when someone's live's on the line. So I will take Michigan State in that one. The line it makes me worry though. That 1.5 is very, very fishy. DMAC, but I may be walking into one here, but I'll go with Michigan State on that.
I think the story's already set that Tom Izzo can knock Coach K. If we're assuming that both these teams win, it's too much for sports.
Yeah.
Sports. There's too much sports going on for Michigan State to lose, but then again, it's this year. So
absolutely. So there you have as far as the West is concerned, there you have that. And it's very, very chalky. I understand that. I just don't see an upset. Maybe if you wanted to give me New Mexico State over UConn, but again, so based on what I have Gonzaga against Boise. I'm taking Gonzaga there. UConn and Arkansas. I'm a big believer in Arkansas, which you will see, I think, coming up in just a little bit. Alabama, Texas Tech. This is about as good of a second-round game as there is out there. And here's where I'm going to change it up on a lot of folks. I'm taking Alabama in this game.
Ooh,
very good backcourt. Their bigs have been disappointing this year, especially from what I saw in November. But the guards get hot, man. That's the way this stuff works. The guards get hot. So I'll take Alabama there. Duke, Michigan State. I'm sorry, our Spartan friends, but that's where the end of the road comes for Michigan State, and Duke wins that game. Going back up top, Gonzaga against Arkansas. Arkansas will outlast them. Arkansas will outlast Gonzaga. I'm telling you, I know, guys. Hey, you're not going to make an omelet if you don't break some eggs, man. We're not going chalk the whole way. So I have Arkansas beating Gonzaga. I have, sadly, I have Duke beating Alabama. I do. I'm a big Banchero guy, big fan of his, and that's where I am. I have Duke beating Arkansas. So Duke is in the Final Four. I don't like it either, guys. I don't, but that's the way the bracket played out. So I have Duke getting to the Final Four. That's where I'll stop it there. Roll down the screen there, Sawyer. Obviously, we will have Baylor beating Norfolk State, North Carolina and Marquette. That's literally a coin toss. I'll take North Carolina on name recognition alone. I have no technical analysis of it, and it doesn't matter.
You don't take the Michigan team?
No, Baylor will beat both of them, so it doesn't really matter. St. Mary's, Indiana. I have St. Mary's in that game I'm a big believer in St. Mary's, though, which is weird because I took Gonzaga out. But remember, St. Mary's beat Gonzaga. I'm getting a fist pump there from Stick. Is it not Orchard Lake St. Mary's? I'm sorry to report. It's a different St. Mary's altogether. UCLA and Akron. I will take UCLA in that game. Texas and Virginia Tech. I will take Virginia Tech in that game over Texas because Texas is the Purdue of the South.
Okay.
Texas always going to Texas. Speaking of Purdue and Yale. I'll take Purdue, although I really badly want to take Yale. So, but I don't think Yale has the athleticism to pull that one off. Murray State and San Francisco. And I told you guys it was going to work like this. They take the mid-majors and they put them together. That way one's out. And they don't have to give an additional share to another mid-major conference. That's the reason they do it.
Saucy.
And they always put them with Kentucky. Always. You ever notice that too? Remember Wichita State? Always. They always put them against Kentucky. I'll take Murray State. I'll take Kentucky. And that will wrap up round one in that East bracket. I'll go back up top here. I have Baylor, North Carolina. I will take Baylor in that one. This is not a vintage North Carolina team. This is the lowest seed, I think, ever that they've been in the tournament. St. Mary's, UCLA, an all West Coast matchup. Begrudgingly, I'll take UCLA in that game. You know what? No, I'm not. I'm going to take St. Mary's in that game.
Wow.
Because UCLA used up all their magic last year.
Against Michigan?
They used up all their magic last year. I'll take St. Mary's. Again, that one doesn't matter because I'm going to take Baylor ultimately anyway. Purdue, Virginia Tech. You already know. I'm taking Virginia Tech to beat Purdue.
The 11 making its way.
I know they got 9 teams in, but none of them are higher than a 3 seed, and Purdue will Purdue whenever there's a big game, and we'll see it there. I'll take Kentucky.
Just Purdue?
Yep.
That smells.
I'll take Kentucky over. I'll take Kentucky. I'll take Kentucky to win.
What are you laughing about, Spencer? You Purdue it over there?
Here in the booth.
Yeah. Baylor over St. Mary's, as I said. So I'll take Baylor there. And I will take Kentucky over Virginia Tech. And then I will take Baylor getting to the Final Four.
Team?
I do like this Baylor team.
Pretty legit, eh?
They've had their struggles during the year. They have.
But they sort of learned. They're one of those teams that sort of they
you know what it is, DMAC? It's not necessarily that I'm so pro Baylor. I just as Team SEC as I am, I don't have a lot of belief in Kentucky.
Okay.
I just don't. And that's where it is. Let's swing it over to the other side.
Even though, as you mentioned, the bracket's sort of set up for them early. Sort of, they're like the Michigan.
Hey, I don't try to
Michigan of the East.
I don't try to fight the terrain, man.
Michigan of the East.
I don't try to fight the terrain. Arizona, hopefully over Wright State, because if Wright State wins tonight, that means the Horizon League got 2 tournament shares, and that's $1.6 million over the course of the next 5 years for the Horizon League. 1.6 million times 2. So that's the little behind the curtain financially of how that works. Seton Hall and TCU, it doesn't matter. I'll take TCU, I guess. Houston over UAB, they'll struggle, but they'll get there. Illinois over Chattanooga. Illinois is going to go through a war with this Chattanooga game. Chattanooga has a big from Kansas, D'Souza, so it's not like that. Kofi's not just going to be able to throw his jersey on the floor and get it done there. But Illinois will win, but it will be a slugfest. The road was paved in gold for Michigan. Colorado State not big enough to win that matchup against Michigan, so Michigan will beat Colorado State. I'll take Tennessee over Longwood. Calm yourself down. Calm yourself down, because you're not going to like what I have to say after that. Ohio State, Loyola Chicago. Ohio State's been taking on water coming down the stretch. They're bad. I know Michigan fans like to hold that deer as such a quality win. Ohio State's been bad. I'm taking my guy Drew Valentine. Maybe this is more heart. Maybe this is more heart than head, but I don't care. Ohio State sucked lately, so I'm taking Loyola Chicago. I'll take Villanova to win as well. Roll it back up to the top there. I'll have Arizona over TCU. I have Houston over Illinois. Illinois is not getting through Houston and Arizona, so they're not a threat to go to the Elite Eight. I have Tennessee over Michigan, and I have Villanova over Loyola Chicago. Back up top, I got Arizona beating TCU. I have Tennessee beating Villanova as well. And then the Final Four, I'm a big believer in the SEC. Tennessee will go to the Final Four. It's weird. They're number 5 in the country, but they're number 3 in their region. They're a very, very good basketball team. I have Tennessee in there as well. You want me to do the last one when we come back?
Oh, no, we can hit it right now.
You can do it right now? All right,
I'm
cool.
in there too.
Kansas over Texas Southern. San Diego State over Creighton. I'm always Team Mountain West. There's got to be some somewhere. I want to take Richmond so bad, but I'm not. I'm going to take Iowa. I want to take them. Upset alert. South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits, they shoot 44% from 3. Wow. As a team, not a guy that shoots 44%. Their team shoots 44% from behind the three-point line. I have them beating Providence. I have LSU beating Iowa State, even though they don't have a coach. I have Wisconsin beating Colgate. USC, Miami, Florida, doesn't really matter. I guess I'll take USC, and I'll take Auburn. I told you as we swing back to the top, I have Kansas over San Diego State. I have South Dakota State beating Iowa.
Ooh, 13 beating them.
Because styles make the fight, right?
Yeah.
Styles make the fight. South Dakota State can play what Iowa plays.
Okay.
They can. They can score points in bunches. They can shoot the lights out of the ball, and it'll work well. So I got South Dakota State going to the Sweet 16. You got to have one somewhere, right? Sam Flannel, you got to have one.
Got to have one, yep.
That's my one. LSU, Wisconsin. I will take LSU in that game, even without a coach. They're tough. And that's the Spider-Man meme, LSU, Wisconsin. I got LSU winning that game 49-48.
Wow.
Auburn over USC. I'll take Kansas beating South Dakota State. The magic carpet ride comes to an end, so I have Kansas winning that. I have Auburn beating LSU. And then for my other Final Four team, I will, in fact, have Kansas. No one's talking about Kansas. So I'll have Kansas in the Final Four.
On my way,
so there you have it, guys. I took you that far. There's the cheat sheet.
When you are gone.
There's a cheat sheet. When we come back, who's the greatest athlete in Detroit sports history? I'm passionate about this one, guys.
Present company excluded.
Present company. You got to take DMAC out of it.
When you brought this to me yesterday, I was like, guys, I know.
We're all too close to it.
Take me off.
We're really close to a Lady Jane's too, DMAC.
That's it. We are. And you know what, guys? 100K. What's that mean? That means $100,000. Oh, got your attention now. Talking money. Now, put that together with Lady Jane's. Yeah, Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, where you walk in, you sign in, you sit down. right? Anytime, got the TVs there. Well, now you have a chance to come and see some of the beautiful ladies anywhere Lady Jane's locations are and sign up to be a part to win $100,000. Anytime, 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in, see one of these great young ladies, give you the king's treatment, and you can sign up to win $100,000 richer. So, why do I say walk into Lady Jane's anytime? Because Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome. Big D Energy here. We just got through Neil's pool. We'll digest when we come back. Big D Energy, Neil Rule, Darren McCarty here with Woodward Sports Network.
March 21st, 9 a.m. Woodward Sports is bringing a Detroit legend to the Detroit sports atmosphere. You don't want to miss this historic moment. Make sure you're listening to the Morning Woodward Show Monday morning to find out who.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Woodward Sports is sending you to New Orleans to see the college basketball finals. All you got to do, listen to Morning Woodward show every morning here on Woodward Sports, right here in the afternoons with Big D Energy, or Drive Time to the Bottom Line with Braylon Edwards, Ryan Armani, and, of course, Maz. Don't forget, too, you can follow Woodward Sports on Twitter, the Gram. Go to woodwardsports.com for extra entries, but we're going to pick somebody for the opportunity to win a trip to New Orleans for the college basketball finals. You guys, you've been getting registered, and that's the way that we are going to do it. And let's do it this way. Let's do it this way here. And our YouTube chat thread. If you're already qualified, you're not eligible for this. So just remember that, guys. You're not eligible for this. The next person to put Draft Capital in the YouTube chat thread, because that's what life's all about, man. It's Draft Capital. In the YouTube chat thread, we will get you qualified. 9 drinks says Neil must have peaked at my bracket. Maybe you're just a smart man. 9 drinks, maybe you are. Next person put Draft Capital in the YouTube chat thread. We will get you qualified, so we will keep an eye on that and get someone qualified for it. Keep an eye on that, Sam Flannel, as far as the YouTube chat thread goes. But now that we got that business taken care of, there it is, John. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Jumped the gun there. So 9 drinks, huh? That's who we got. 9 drinks. All right, Sam Flannel, let him know what he's got to do.
You have to email ilovemarchmadness2022@gmail.com. I will repeat, ilovemarchmadness2022@gmail.com, and I'll get you set up.
There you go. Sam Flannel will take care of it. Some housekeeping things. Monday Night Football broadcast booth was announced. It is official. Sawyer told me so. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, Monday Night Football. And this industry's funny to me because they announce the new Monday Night Football announcing crew. It's all the same guys moving around, man.
Well,
it's literally like 8 guys that just change networks all the time.
Recycled, so they moved from Fox to ESPN or Disney, whatever it is like that, and it's sort of recycled. But here's the one thing where it looks like, so that puts Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth, that opens up other positions. What I'm interested now, as this sort of new influx, and whether we're talking. Right now, we're talking about the NFL. I want to take it more so here to home. right? Because we're experiencing that going on right now with some of the legends moving on. We saw it with Michigan football. You see Doug Carson, John Jansen hired as a new broadcast for the football team, right? That's new. You see, I'm going to bring it right to home, and I'm bringing it right back to the people because, Rake, you nailed it. As far as, here's a tweet by our man, Rake, and I believe it, Bally Sports, how many likes do we need to get Neil Rule on some Detroit Pistons basketball? And why is that? Because George Blaha's not doing it. Love Johnny Kane, great guy and stuff like this, but there's always, this is a great opportunity like right here at home to try different guys and different things. I just think it's a no-brainer because that's what you do, and the fact that you've done it before. So I don't mean to put you on the spot and stuff like this, but this
Only a
is
little
what
bit.
And I brought this up because I reported back and somebody give me an answer why, right? You know, that sort of thing, at least to be able to see what it is. I love it. This is the perfect time at the end of the season. Let you do a game. Let other people do a game, not just you. Some other guys out there. This is the opportunity. So in saying that, not only do I always hope you get every opportunity you get, it's just a no-brainer here in Detroit that you're at home and stuff, and sometimes I don't see why. But to this football and this Monday night that these guys have moved over, is there somebody new coming to Fox or what? Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth are Fox now? Like they just make a trade in the broadcast booth? Does that happen?
I mean, from what I heard, Al Michaels might be in play for Amazon because Amazon's, I don't even think we all know where the games are going to be.
Just like the extra 17th game last year getting adjusted, Amazon's play in the NFL this year is even bigger. We've seen different things, YouTube and different stuff before, but that's so what I mean. There's opportunity out there. And to your point, Neil, I understand why the NFL does it because they can. They're the monolith, and when you're talking about that much, and the money that's thrown around, bro, to do that job, and for what Tony Romo makes, and that's like it's like isn't it for like $20 million or $15 million or something? Like that's not out of the question. But that's because they're the NFL and they can do it. I just look towards here at home, and you look here. I'll bring it even back more. You look at our friend Daniela Bruce with the Red Wings getting the opportunity to do Ken Cal in the road games, and then she was able for Women's Day to do it. So it's just a different opportunity at a different time. I'm not saying, you don't have to come out and hire my guy, even though why don't you? But the fact is, give him a game. Give him a game just to see the vibe. This is the perfect opportunity. So I hope Fox does that with some NFL, and we hear maybe there's the next greatest football announcer out there. This opportunity.
Yeah, it does just seem like it's a bunch of guys moving around. By the way, I appreciate those words, my friend. Thank you. And all you guys too on the YouTube chat.
You just so happen, I tell you this all the time, bro. It just so happens that you're on the end of my tongue here, but I'm just speaking my truth. The vulnerable truth with integrity carries throughout. So at this point, you're just happen to be. But that's the way I see it. Other people see it. It's like I said in my book, enjoy my truth. Or like tonight, Sawyer, did you put that prop in there? Tonight, if you want, Hamilton Pub, 7 p.m., Slapstick Comedy Tour, DMAC show. Just like that. Battery.
Oh, up there in Saginaw. Okay, I see you in the 989 tonight.
Yep. We'll be down there.
And you do the meet and greet?
69. They don't mess around up there.
Yeah. You do a little meet and greet too? That's pretty cool.
That's the best part. I'll stay there you show up, and that's what I love about my fans and people is that they know that they'll all get the opportunity. But that's what I'm that's why I'm there. And you know what? I always hear people say it's Saginasty. And every time I'm there, it's Saginaw Awesome. So we're going to the Awesome tonight.
Yeah, I always like Saginaw.
Saginaw Awesome.
Yeah, I always have. I
don't understand that. I was waiting. It's awesome. I can't wait. I get to see. I got a lot of friends I haven't seen in a while.
Paul Johnsonish says in our YouTube chat thread, that's because Neil picked Arkansas over Gonzaga. That's why you won't get the job. Just kidding, Neil. So hey, you got to break some eggs to make an omelet, man.
The motivate, like I said, it's sort of like what I was talking about. The piece of paper, the crumple behind the scenes. You don't know what goes on in that guy's head. His motivations. Of this. You got screwed. I like the fact that you're wishing for Wright State or for another piece of the pie. That if they could ever do that upset, then for the Horizon League. You know what I'm saying about the payouts and.
I want the money for
draft
Oakland.
Capital stuff too.
Yeah, I want the money for Oakland. Like this, and guys, don't get it twisted. They are. And to give all you guys a backstory, because people always say, why do they do the play-in? You know why they do the play-in. Because everyone who makes a tournament gets $1.6 million over 5 years for their conference. The Power Fives wanted more because they said, hey, we drive the revenue. We want more of the revenue. And the way that you were able to appease the rest of the conferences and keep them on board to say, okay, you guys will get shuffled off into this play-in game. Now, we'll have the Power Fives do a play-in game too, but we'll shuffle off, the mid-majors and the low majors into this play-in game. But here's how we'll do it. We'll make it a real game as far as payment goes. That way your conference has the opportunity to pick up a second 1.5 million share. Absolutely.
Follow the money.
And that it's not undifferent than the baseball labor negotiations.
Right.
It's the exact same thing. The smaller markets, you'll give them a little more of a taste, then they'll let you do whatever you want. That's the way that it works. And guys, there is a business side to this. I'm sorry, I didn't make it up. That's the way it is.
Absolutely.
But no, it's about the student-athlete experience. I forgot. My bad.
Is it even on the list? Is it even on the list? Oh, yeah, forget. It's like the small writing at the bottom, right?
Right.
Oh, don't forget to put it's about the kids.
Right. Gromit 0237 put 16 seeds in the plan, not 11 seeds. But that way, it doesn't look like, you know what I'm saying? The optics of when you make the Power Fives do it too, because they're still getting the money, and the Power Fives that are getting in the 11 seed playoff probably aren't going to win a game in the tournament anyway. You see what I'm saying? And it kind of gives them a better opportunity to win a game. So that's why they do it. It's financially related. But you guys knew that already. You guys know because you follow me, you want me to be president. I'll explain all this stuff to you, dude, how the real stuff works. But we'll start with getting Halloween on the last Saturday of October and Super Bowl on a Saturday. And then off the success of those movements, I'll sit around for the rest of my term and not do anything. But hey, I'm being honest about it. I'll sit around and not do anything. And then when we move towards the re-election time, then I'll get the candy corn thing rolling. And I'll get candy corn and circus peanuts outlawed. And Boston baked beans, if you guys want to get rid of that trash too. We'll do that. Biddo honey, you're on the chopping block. Peanut butter kisses, gone.
Wow. He's got an agenda, folks. He has an agenda.
But it's the people's interest that I have in mind.
That is. And that's why... And that's why you drink what you drink.
That is why I drink what I drink.
Do
no
what
doubt.
you do. How was your birthday, by the way?
Oh, it was cool, man.
Anything?
No, came home, made dinner. As usual Tuesday. That's fine. I was feeling festive, so when I made tacos last night, I made the financial splurge to buy an avocado.
Ooh, wow.
Those things are $4 now, man.
What?
What happened to avocados?
Gas prices.
No. What happened to avocados?
That's a side talk.
I understand that the world's biggest oil producer is now offline, so I can understand. I can understand why the price of gas goes up because you just lost access to the majority of the world's oil. I understand that and why that happens. What did avocados do to anybody, man?
I didn't know there was an uproar.
I get
I
that
guess
there's
Taco Tuesday. I mean, that would be the day to
I
bring
get
it
that
out.
there's inflation and the cost of everything's going up. It was like 75%, man. It's some crazy number. So there you have it. Mike G, leave Reese's Pieces alone. They're dope. Oh, don't question, Mike G. No, anything that's good, we're not going to get rid of. Just the trash
You got
stuff.
it wrong. Reese's Pieces are good.
Yeah, Reese's Pieces are good. They're not going anywhere, man. We're getting rid of all that other trash stuff.
Oh, don't worry.
That
He's got
you
to
see out there.
tiptoe lightly around peanut butter, but the things he's bringing up are legit.
Peanut butter's good. Peanut butter kisses are trash.
Trash.
And they're trash because they come in those little some of them come in the black wrappers and some are in the orange wrappers. And you can drop them on the ground and they break into pieces even though they're supposed to be soft. Those things suck too. Let me tell you what doesn't suck. Cintron World, an aspirational lifestyle beverage brand with a line of sparkling flavored energy beverages, premium bottled water, and revitalizer shots. It's the official energy drink of the Red Wings, proud partners with the Pistons, and exclusively served at Little Caesars Arena. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and great taste, Cintron is your top choice. Buy online at cintronworld.com. Promo code RedWings10. Save 10% with shipping included. Drink it. Live it with Cintron.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
You're being a snob.
I
You're
am
looking
being
for
a
your lunch order.
Now I'm ready to do the read. Now I'm ready. Let me tell you about fresh, juicy, and hormone-free chicken. Let me tell you about Wing Snob, everyone. Wing Snob has the best traditional wings. Try the signature sauces, the Jamaican jerk, or the lemon pepper. Wings are tossed to perfection, really, in any sauce that you choose. When the wings are this good, you're allowed to be a snob. The wings are so good, I wasn't even going to read the read. Because Wing Snob wings are that good.
At least there's some wings that are good around here these days.
Order them online. It's lunchtime right now. Go to wingsnob.com. Wingsnob. Just have better wings. Back at it, Big D.
That was funnier.
Sawyer told me.
I got a reaction for it. I hope everybody laughed at it.
Sawyer tells me, we go to commercial. And we have these reads we have to do. And he tells me, hey, remember, when we come back, you got to do the Wing Snob. And what are we doing when the camera comes back on me? I'm just looking around, just... I forget that quickly, dude. It's actually kind of concerning.
Because seriously, he threw a curveball in there where he tried to throw Whoppers in on your agenda. And listen, Whoppers is not the greatest, not the worst, but that's a neutral country. That's like Switzerland, isn't it?
Yeah, that is. Robert says Neil's getting rid of a lot of the old-timey candy at the Dollar Tree. Yeah, you notice a correlation there? Bougie.
I'll explain to Neil what the Dollar Tree is after the show.
All right. Hey, I did want to get in this discussion, and I was feeling pretty passionate about it. And let's wrap up here. How would you grade the Lions free agency? 34% of you say A, 50% of you say B, 11% of you say C, and 5% of you say D. So that will wrap that up. B was pretty much the answer, which I think we all agree on. I did want to touch on this, and the reason it popped in my head, there was a video on social media of Isaiah Thomas getting booed by the Boston Celtics fans. And that rivalry, man, that rivalry never gets old. You got that one, Sawyer? Let's run this, because it was great.
The Celtics greats and the Laker greats, they are different than the rest of the league because the tradition of the Lakers and the Celtics is something truly special that we all marvel at, and you deserve to be there, my friend.
I love it that you guys booed Isaiah. That's awesome. We now would like...
So Isaiah Thomas wearing the boos from Boston. You know what? Whatever. Those are Celtics fans. Don't really care about them. But it made me start thinking about who's the best athlete in the history of Detroit sports. And I know people are going to run to 1900 and say Ty Cobb, and that's fine. If you want to do that, do that. It's your vote, okay? For me, I think if you want to pull one from all four of the sports, I think that's a good way to do it. I narrowed it down to the four of Steve Yzerman for the Red Wings. I know Gordie Howe, and I understand that.
But let's go our generation.
That's
let's
our generation.
What we've seen. Can I caveat this?
Sure.
In our... that we've seen, we've experienced.
Sure, we'll do it that way.
Greatest Detroit sports athlete, in your opinion, from what you've experienced, not by what you were told or what you
fair.
watched.
Let's do it that way. Guys,
it's the same sort of thing as the same, like when you're above 30 years old, right? That's what when I walk into a room, I'm like Ponce de Leon. I can take 25 years off your life. Because I could put you like I will tonight at the Hamilton Pub 25 years ago where you were March 26, 97. Now, you have to be at least 30 years old now to remember that. So everything that's younger than that, and it's in your family and stuff like this, but you haven't sort of experienced. So me telling you, bridging the gap to what you don't remember. Now, there's the 35-year-olds that have the kids and whatever that were in the wheelhouse age of 10 years old or whatever. They remember everything. Now they can transmit it, and then they can take their life experience and realize, oh my gosh, how more poignant in a bigger picture that event was. So let's just say from what you've experienced as a Detroit sports fan.
And that's fair. And I have different caveats.
Steve Yzerman
is on
Sanders.
the list. Barry Sanders is on the list. He won a playoff game with the Lions. Should have been put in the Hall of Fame, right? They should have stopped the playoff game after it was over and put him in the Hall of Fame.
Yards,
right
that doesn't count.
Yeah, Barry Sanders, Steve Yzerman. For me, it's Miguel Cabrera with the Tigers because he was so great. He was great. I think he gets shortchanged. We're going to talk about Miguel Cabrera in a little bit. He gets very shortchanged, I think. But the guy who I think gets the most shortchanged, I think locally, he's revered here. He's celebrated here. But I think and I can't pinpoint the reason. I think locally, sure as hell nationally, the most shortchanged great athlete in the history of sports, in my mind, is Isaiah Thomas.
Terry Foster explained it to you. It's because he rubbed people the wrong way, too.
But that plays into it. That plays into it for me. Isaiah Thomas is a guy that showed up on the scene.
He rubbed people the wrong way to the people that he didn't. You mentioned the Steve Yzerman's, even like Miguel, like you could say that he might have rubbed with his actions people like the wrong.
He was so great, it doesn't matter.
No, I get it. You, again, caveat it with because here's the thing, where we do it differently, right? You don't want these guys raising your kids. You don't care about anything other than what the sport provided. For me, no. I go on the big picture of the whole picture. That's why there's no question in my mind, and I got to ride shotgun with the greatest because of everything he's done in my lifetime, from coming as 18, being the player, being that number 3 guy in the NHL with 155, 60 points, whatever like this, transforming his game, now what he's doing now. So I'm biased. Take me out of this. It's just like wide receiver bias. I was busting Braylon's chops on about the Kurt trade yesterday, having fun. But I have bias to that. But to me, that's what's important. So everybody else, Enjoy My Truth, has their own criteria.
Right.
Yours isn't. And to your criteria, right, what Isaiah Thomas did at his size in a game that wasn't supposed to be done, like all these guys are immortals. There could be that could be the Rushmore of my that would probably be the Mount Rushmore of my Detroit sports.
Yeah. And so for me it works like this with Isaiah Thomas. He showed up here, the Pistons were playing in the Silverdome, there'd be 1,200 people at the game. There was nothing. That franchise was at rock bottom. There was nothing. He comes here from Indiana, where he was the ultimate winner, at a point guard at 6'1", and shows up on the scene and dominates for the next decade plus, to the point where he lifted an entire franchise. He put an entire city on his back. And it didn't matter. You didn't hear him complaining or wanting out or anything like that. He willed this franchise. In the greatest era of NBA basketball, with the Jordans, with the Birds, with the Magics, there was that time where Isaiah Thomas and his team, the team that he carried, won back-to-back NBA titles, was the MVP of the All-Star game. That pound for pound may have been the best player in the NBA. If you go pound for pound with his size and what he didn't hand select his teammates in history, pound for pound, and had all those factors working against him. The franchise was at rock bottom. Elevated everybody around him, the entire city. Put him on his back, won back-to-back titles, maybe could have had a third one, was an All-Star Game MVP, was at the top of the world. He elevated everybody. And there was no white horse that rode in to help him out or anything like that. He willed everybody. He was Detroit. In this era of the coastal royalty with Bird and Magic and the Converse commercials. He was in a Converse commercial with Bird and Magic.
He was the thorn in their side. As far as in the Midwest, sticking West Coast, East Coast, going, don't forget about us.
Yeah, he was the guy. And through all of it in the NBA Finals, when Dick Stockton was doing the games, and you could just tell the disdain that the networks had for this team from Detroit that was in there. Isaiah Thomas created all of that. Created all of it. He was a centerpiece for it all. He did it all. And he's shortchanged. DMAC, he is shortchanged locally. He's shortchanged nationally. He's one of the greatest of all time. And I'll never get off this platform. Never. Because he did it. And I remember being a little kid. Granted, I was a little kid. But I'll never forget that as the son of two people that worked in the car factories and stuff like that. It meant even more to me that he willed up Detroit, the whole city of Detroit, and put it on his back. It's Detroit. It's not supposed to compete with L.A. and Magic and Showtime and Larry Bird and the Celtics dynasty. And not only did he get there, DMAC, he won. Back-to-back he won. And it was because of his guts.
Here's what you're fighting. You're fighting time, right? Because you know who you are right now? You're the same guy when I was younger telling me about Gordie Howe and Ty Cobb and whatever else, because he saw them. You saw this. You saw it happening. This has the impression.
He picked up nothing.
No. And in basketball, 5 guys, right? I will tell you that who had the biggest influence of doing it more himself and everything. Yeah, Chuck Daly and then Lambeer came. But Isaiah, to everything that you're saying, right? Which goes to more of an individual sport to be able to step up and shine above, right? Basketball is the one sport. We've just seen it in the past, our lifetime with LeBron.
Right.
No matter where he goes, right? It's individually based. That's why I'm saying is the other to be successful is needed more of the team. Everything you said there is absolute truth. Now it goes to what glasses do you wear? You wore more basketball glasses.
No, and I was huge hockey guy, and here's the deal, because I see people talking about Yzerman and Lidstrom.
To your point, right? You go look at the thread, right? We're not even bringing up Nick Lidstrom, who's arguably either the best or the second best defenseman in the history of the NHL, right? Because he always gets overlooked, right? When you bring up Detroit Red Wings, I get mentioned more. Do you know what I'm saying by the casual fan? Oh, yeah, that Lidstrom guy. Stuff. So what I'm saying is that
is true. I never thought about that. You're right.
It's
with all due respect to you. Come on.
I mean, it's like, you guys forgetting about this guy?
Like maybe the greatest defenseman ever.
That's the perfect tune, but that's his mannerism. You know what I'm saying? So the inflection, but everything that you said about being imperative at the time in the 80s, but like if I'm talking about, I'm fighting 1997, it's 25 years ago, you're fighting the 80s. You're fighting, but it's so impressionable to you, right? It's the same way impressionable like I was at the same age, when the Tigers won in 84. It was more impactful, the Kirk Gibsons, and, that was sort of more of the impact. I could see the greatness of Miguel Cabrera. He's a Triple Crown winner. And the things that he does, you know what I'm saying? So I guess it just comes down to there's no wrong answer. There really is no wrong answer because what you said that. Look at Barry Sanders.
Well, I'll go a little bit deeper. When we come back, I'll go a little bit deeper, and I'll explain some more of the logic to it.
No matter who it is, right? No matter who you choose and stuff like that, if Guardian Alarm and you have them as your security experts, whether for your residential or your business or for whatever, you can choose whatever athlete you want. Yeah, because Guardian Alarm, they get it. They're your local security experts. Now, state-of-the-art technology. I tell you about it every day right from this little phone. I can turn the lights on in my house or off. I can temperatures up and down. If it's on fire, it'll tell me. And that silent, deadly killer carbon monoxide. Yes, and so today and every day, please be a part of the Guardian Alarm family. To do so, I need you to call. What's that number, Sam? 1-800?
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Everybody in the back on this fine hump day. 1-800.
Stay out. Get out of my house.
You know Sammy Flannel's got it because he keeps rocking those flannels every day. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts, let them know. Woodward Sports Network sent you. Big D Energy, Neal Rule, DMAC. Steve Eisman's the greatest. I mean, that's just the bottom line. Be right back with Woodward Sports.
Everything that we've hoped for, finally.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Greg Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Coming down the stretch here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Rule, DMAC, Darren McCarty. We got Sam Flannel, we got Sawyer as well. Someone asked me how's Sam Flannel going to do flannels in the summer. He's going to cut the sleeves off and let the guns out. Absolutely. No, we're talking who's the greatest athlete of all time in Detroit sports, and I just made my passionate case for Isaiah Thomas. And here's the deal, because I hear and see, look, like we have it up right now. Who's a go to Detroit sports? Miguel Cabrera's getting 5% of the vote. Steve Yzerman at 35% of the vote. Barry Sanders at 42% of the vote. And Isaiah Thomas at 18%. And see, that's what I'm talking about. And here, I'm not saying you guys are wrong. Here's the deal, and I'll give you guys the abbreviated version. The Yzerman thing, same circumstances as Isaiah when he got here. Same time frame as well. And he came in and he lifted up a franchise and got him to Edmonton, right? Got him to Edmonton, to the Edmonton dynasty that he ran into. Got him to that. Needed help in the form of with the advent of the European scouting.
In a team sport of 20 guys. Can't
And that
do
is
it your
different
own.
too. That's different too.
No, that's the huge. You can't because it's proven that, and you have to get the buy-in.
Yeah, ask
you
Connor
gotta
McDavid.
get the 100% buy-in, and it's not 5 guys that carry your team.
Right.
Or else Edmonton Oilers would keep winning every game
Which
this
is fair.
year with
Which
the
is
talent
fair.
they have.
But that's why I went Isaiah over Yzerman.
And I disagree. Because here's the one thing that they had to do it differently, but Stevie had to, as the guy who was sort of Isaiah to bring it to the point, had to realize he had to look self-awareness and go, I have to evolve my game and sacrifice and be that. To me,
you saw it happen.
The sign of a leader, right, is to embrace the suck and do the things to better the team, right? Not only that, and there'll also be a mantra. This is the easiest way to be in the Red Wings locker room. Because you know what? The best players led by example. So the fact Steve Yzerman's in the working out, why aren't you working out? Right? You have that mentality. And that's what teaching culture is. So it's second nature to get in that routine and you're riding the bike, whatever it is, but you're doing what everybody else did because he transformed, because winning was more important. Now, Isaiah, like if you're going to say, did he do it more on his own? Yeah, but that's basketball. You need to do that. You need that more alpha. What you need, your alpha in a team sport like hockey, and I'll just specifically speak to that, is your alpha to be Omega, Sigma, and everything. He's got to be everything, and that's what Steve Yzerman is, and he continues to prove that. So different. It's a totally a lot of the same ingredients, but there's a lot of things that have changed because the rules are different.
Sure, and I understand that. I do. But as far as doing it yourself, that's what Isaiah Thomas did to me. He did it himself.
That doesn't make you a GOAT.
But the reason he is a GOAT is because he looked the Lakers, the Celtics, and Michael Jordan in the eye and didn't waver, man. Didn't back down and won. Now that's why I have it over Yzerman. Yzerman changed his game. I'm not saying Yzerman stinks.
How many titles did Zeke win?
Yeah, he won 2 of them.
And Stevie won 3.
Right.
So, I mean, if we're keeping stats.
I know.
I got 4.
Right.
Steve. Anyways.
Yeah, and so that's where it was with Yzerman. Those are my reasons. You may have different reasons. That's fine. The Barry Sanders thing. Barry was great. He's probably the greatest, like athlete. Like make me hold my breath every time he was out there. Yeah. Every time he got the football,
Can we agree
you would
that
hold your
Barry
breath.
Sanders, natural talent, greatest athlete of all time ever?
No question.
Right?
I.e., which is why he's the best running back ever.
Can we blanket that statement with the Senate and the daylight savings time?
I would like to think so. I would like to think so. That you would be able to go ahead and do that.
Because I would say maybe one of the second most talented guys ever come through. Here's your guy.
Certainly, yeah. No question.
Talent's different than greatest.
Right. And Barry was great, all-time great, maybe the greatest to ever play the game. However, the franchise didn't. It got close People forget, they did go to an NFC championship game. I know it was a long time ago. It got close, but they couldn't get over that hump. And then for Miguel Cabrera, the reason I have Miguel Cabrera on that list, and I am kind of sad to see him only getting 4% of the vote right now, he was just another stratosphere. He was the greatest right-handed hitter of our generation.
He doesn't get it because they didn't win.
But they didn't cash, and that's the thing. And
cashed
Isaiah
it
did
in,
it
he's in a different
twice.
light.
And Isaiah did it with 1,100 people at the Silverdome when he walked in the door. The franchise was
What
dead.
did Stevie have in the building when he walked
They
in the
had
door?
to give cars away to get people to go to the games.
There wasn't more than that many people.
Yeah,
at Joel.
and
So
Steve
you know
Eisenman
how
did
I
the
know?
same thing.
Because I was there.
You were there. I know.
I was
as
10
was
years
I.
old and I was there. Pissed off I couldn't get a car. Mr. Illich was going to buy me some. I swore. And he did.
Yeah. So that's where it was with me. I'm a big Isaiah guy. What'd you have, Sam Flannel?
When you look at Isaiah Thomas, the amazing thing is I think we'd all agree he's at worst a top 15 NBA player of all time.
Yeah.
He's the only one who's a little man. Think about it. The only one.
No question.
I'll tell you there's absolutely, they are lockstep with each other. Steve Eisman and Isaiah Thomas as two of the toughest
and that
men.
Yeah.
Toughest. Steve Eisman is the toughest human being that I know as far as resilience, not complaining, not whatever the injuries that he played through and never complained. Isaiah Thomas' toughness, this more of a silent assassin, but these two guys, that's their toughness. And mental toughness was off the charts.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the Chuck Daly's...
Well, they couldn't be broken.
That's where the Chuck Daly's and the Scotty Bowmans came in and saw that needed a little bit of a finishing off.
It was always telling to me when you see the 30 for 30 on the Bad Boys, when Isaiah talked about retiring, when he tore his Achilles at 32, and he said, and he made sure he enunciated, I have 0 left to give. That's perfect. Because he gave everything to this city and to this franchise.
And I know that feeling. Because when I walked away, I was like, I'm done. It's like I got nothing. I use this body, and you know what I'm saying? And yeah, you looking back, if you would have done things differently, could you, whatever else. But at the time, Neil, walk away as an athlete to be able to do it at your own time and just say that's enough.
Right. Grom at 0237, you act as if Zeke was the only guy on the Bad Boys. He's the one that linchpinned it all, and none of it works without Isaiah Thomas. He was a superstar. He's in my eyes, pound for pound, the greatest point guard to ever play basketball. For sure, and even if you take the pound for pound out of it, he's at least the second greatest.
Hey, Neil, is it fair to say, right? Because Steve Eisenman in the 80s or whatever, up to the Edmonton, he was third best player on the planet. Isaiah's third best player on the planet.
There was a time
viewed as far as with the Jordans, the Birds, and whatever, he was right there.
Yeah, it was Magic. It was Magic, Bird, and Isaiah Thomas for a spell in the 80s, man. Yeah. And he doesn't get that credit. He doesn't get that credit locally, and he damn sure doesn't get it nationally.
Well, I think
and that upsets me.
Sort of nationally, when you get booed after all these years in Boston and stuff, I'm sure you gave that little Zeke smile.
Oh my God, I wish I could drink that. I wish I could drink Boston's booze, man. Because they ended it. Isaiah Thomas and the Bad Boys ended the Boston Celtics, and I love that. Almost as much as I love Gypsy Vodka. Look, 50 different formulas, countless taste tests, but Gypsy's the best tasting, smoothest vodka on the market. It's gluten-free. It's corn distilled 6 times. They use artesian spring water. That's the particulars. Those are the technicals. They got a cool-looking bottle, as you can see if you're watching on YouTube. That's fine. Here's the deal. Pour it in your glass, or as Sawyer Benj does. Put it in your Bloody Mary. And you got it cooking, because it is the best tasting vodka on the market. Support local guys from the state of Michigan, made in Petoskey. It is Michigan's gluten-free vodka. Go to the do yourself a favor. I'm telling you guys, I'm asking you. Do it. Go to the grocery store, get yourself a bottle. Tweet us a picture. People have done that before. Tweeting us a picture of them copping the Gypsy vodka at the store. Let me know. And everyone that's done it, by the way, has followed up later, Sawyer, and what did they say?
Delicious.
Delicious. Fire. See, there you have it. It's undefeated, folks. It's science. Gypsy Vodka. Best in the game right now. Try a bottle. Ask for it by name. It is Gypsy. As always, drink responsibly.
Think you're a big shot?
Oh, excuse me, it goes down!
Think you can make the big shot?
Washington fires and hits!
Woodward Sports wants to send you to the finals for college basketball April 2nd through the 4th in New Orleans. That's right, you and a friend in the Big Easy. We'll take care of the airfare, hotel, and tickets to see the finals for college basketball. Listen Monday through Friday to the Morning Woodward Show. Big D Energy. And the bottom line for your chance to qualify. If you can make the big shot, you and a friend are getting out of the cold and to New Orleans.
Got it!
Keep listening and watching for your next chance to win. Powered by Planet Fitness, Syntron, and the Sports Marketing Agency.
And it's over! Anything can happen in March!
Hi, I'm Kay Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
Woodward Sports. Missed part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Final segment of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Who's the GOAT of Detroit sports? 5% of you say Miguel Cabrera, 19% of you say Isaiah Thomas, 33% of you say Steve Yzerman, and 43% of you say Barry Sanders. I go Isaiah, but there is no wrong answer because it's what's great to you. I lean Isaiah because he took nothing and made it a back-to-back world champion in the best era of the NBA. A team from Detroit that had no business being there. But, that's Detroit. Detroit was the same way as a city. We've always been the same way. Paul Johnsonish says, being booed in Boston is a classic. We live forever in their heads. And I love that. People were talking about Miggy and Barry and being criticized, saying that they didn't have any leadership. And I go to you, DMAC, and I ask you this question because I equate that almost to like Sergey.
Leaders lead differently. Right? You're talking about vocals as far as being everything else. Miggy, there's a language barrier. It's always tough when there's a language, but you tried. But Miggy's a guy who's going to lead more by his actions. You want to see Miggy engage. And I think that his leadership's more that we don't see talking to guys, especially now. We're going to get into this tomorrow because we don't have time. But I love what I heard out of Miguel Cabrera and the fact about, embracing the role as DH and wanting Riley Green and Torkelson here, which he knows means it's time at first base. His engagement, it's the same thing with these stars, their engagement, right? So as long as they're engaged in the process, you don't need them to be the vocal ones because you have guys around them. Now, I know it's what we would like. We always want our best players to be the most vocal and stuff like that, but that's not the case. Yeah. So leadership comes in how do you make them feel the most comfortable? Because, Barry's an introvert. Sergey's a bit of an introvert. I don't think Miggy's a bit of an introvert, but I think that if English was his first language, it'd be different because I see the way that he is around, and I just say, the Dominican guys and stuff like this, speaking his own language, you can see more of a comfortability. I see more comfortability now the longer he's been here, but I think that if you're looking for, now's the time at the end of the contract with the young guys coming up is where pay attention to, do you see a different kind of leadership from Miguel Cabrera? Because I think that that's where he's going to embrace. And I think that where A.J. Hinch knows that to have that engaged, and it's sort of more of a player-coach role, if that makes sense.
And for me, too, when you have greats, because Miguel Cabrera is a great, and Sergei Fedorov was a great, you tell me, DMAC, as a guy in that locker room, you don't need, when dudes are at that, when dudes are at that level, you know what I'm saying? When dudes are at that level, what's he going to say to you? What are you going to say to him?
Percentile level, right? You want them engaged where you understand. Now, if
you don't need that, do you? As a guy in that locker room, you don't need Sergei Fedorov to say, "Hey guys, we got to go do this. We got to go do that."
No, that's other guys' jobs or whatever. It's just Sergei's got to be the best Sergei, and if Sergei's the best Sergei, so how do I make sure?
We're going to win a hell of a lot of games.
Sergei has his tires pumped up enough, and and it's knowing different guys, because I tell Sergei's so misunderstood. It was as if when you realized that he looked around the room and went, "Look at all these all-stars, man. They don't need me. I mean, these guys," almost like he wasn't worthy of it. But then when you go, "Yo, bro, Little help over. Oh, you guys need me? Oh, okay. That's the mentality.
Score 5 goals.
That's the difference between other than going, I'm taking a night off. No, that's the miss that people get. He cared. It's that sometimes he didn't think he was worthy enough, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Self-worth.
And, we're seeing it, too, where, Miggy has his Triple Crown, but they're greater Tigers, in my opinion. But he's on the list. See, I think he's the best right-handed hitter of this generation. You know what I'm saying? Arguably. But you can make that case. I think people forget that, man.
Yeah.
They see Miggy now. It was always going to end like this for Miggy.
What have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
We knew it was always going to end. These baseball contracts always end this way.
We'll talk
all
about
these
it
long-term deals. They're always going to end this way, which shout out to Al Avila and the Tigers for sending left-handed relief pitcher Andrew Chafin. He's good. That's a good baseball player, middle reliever, left-hander in the middle of the lineup that can eat some innings up.
Yeah.
I like that move.
Adam loves Tebow. Stockton led the league in assists a record 9 times and finished with just under 16,000. Led the league in steals twice and over 3,000 for his career. Yeah, look at his usage rate. Every play they did was a pick and roll with Karl Malone.
Yeah, because
that was all they had.
But it worked.
Well, until it was time to win something, then it didn't work.
I'm just saying, right?
He didn't will that team to victory.
Nope.
With one of the greatest scorers in the history of basket. See, that's my point, guys. See, that text right there is what tells me some people, you don't get it. Hit one of the greatest scorer, one of the greatest scorers in the history of basketball with them. And guess what it got him? Nothing. That's what it got him. But yeah, go on about John Stockton and those empty assists with a high usage rate out of the pick and roll. Come on, man. Come on.
Hey, don't forget, it's Wednesday. It's Dynamite tonight. No, seriously.
There you have
Cage
it.
match, Thunder Rosa, Dr. Britt Baker.
Hey, did they find gold real quick? 30 seconds. Did they find gold?
Night? Oh, they're closer. They're going back. They're back in the pit. Yeah, there was a big discovery yesterday. Stay tuned next week. I'll let you know.
For DMAC, for
Oak
Sawyer.
Island, in case anybody's wondering. Thank goodness, because we'll talk wings tomorrow. I told them no wings talk today. 5, even high of 5 goals against over their past whatever games. Disgusting. I'll let everybody in. Me and Chris Draper had a little text conversation because I was physically sick. Like, not physically throwing up, but sick to my stomach watching this defensive performance. So we'll leave it at that for tomorrow.
We'll go deep into it tomorrow. For DMAC, for Sam Flannel, for Sawyer, my name's Neil Rule. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.
The Celtics greats and the Laker greats, they are different than the rest of the league because the tradition of the Lakers and the Celtics is something truly special that we all marvel at, and you deserve to be there, my friend.
I love it that you guys booed Isaiah. That's awesome. We now